Penis.
Hello, everyone. I'm keeping it. Welcome, everyone, to Scare Your Friends, the only podcast on the internet where Dylan is a fucking asshole.
And we're all 13.
Yep. Well, the penis game
Perfect.
works a lot.
Yes,
Oh my God.
and today we are going to be reading a story for bros. Bro stories
I don't
for
like
people
that.
who are age 13.
Does it
and
involve bro
It's been a
jobs?
while.
It involves a killer.
How long's it been?
How
about
been-
penises?
It's been
It involves a
It's been, what,
killer.
3 months?
almost 3 months since we recorded.
For
the
me,
last
at
one.
least.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
been a
much.
while,
It's been
yeah.
longer for you.
So Nate's here. He's wearing sunglasses in the dark.
I
What have you been up to, Nate?
I've been up to seeing without... Never mind. Hi.
Ooh, boy.
Excellent.
Rough.
Dan, what have you been up to these last few months?
I had the flu on Easter break, which was terrible. I would never wish that on anyone, and that's pretty much the highlight of the past 3 months that we've not been doing this.
Well, it's been 3 months.
It's been almost 3 months. Did you say we recorded the last one in March?
Well, I posted the last one on
Right, but
April.
It's been a long
We
time.
haven't blown the lid off this operation.
Who cares?
All
How many
right,
times
I
have
know,
we dated
it's
it
fine.
already?
We haven't
we've
convened
convened
them.
in a while.
Yes,
so.
we haven't reconvened. We also have William here.
Yeah, it's been a good couple months. I drank this thing called Vegas Fuel. It was pretty solid.
That sounds amazing.
It was an energy drink. It was $1, so I was hyped and I bought it. It was like Hawaiian Punch and seltzer had a baby.
Ew, that sounds disgusting.
It was the worst.
Did it
thing.
work?
used to have
Did the salts have a,
Shasta.
wait, did the salts have a,
Shasta. Oh, Jesus.
did the salts have a flavor?
No, it was literally like watery Hawaiian Punch, but
That's
with
disgusting.
it was super gross.
It was carbonated.
That's
I finished the whole thing. I got my $1 worth.
That's disgusting.
And also we have Fuck Up Dylan here.
Fuck up, Dylan.
Fuck up,
Yeah.
Dylan.
look
Dylan, what have you been up to lately?
To be fair, Dylan invented the Melinda scale, so
Yes, I did.
he has
you
moments
did.
of brilliance.
Fuck off.
Yes, we are the Adventures of the Melinda
Yeah.
Scale.
I'm trying to get Overwatch, you know.
A broken clock is right twice a day.
Twice?
So-
Once? 3 times?
So what has been going on with you, John,
AKA
the Skill Flea? You graduated college.
Did you?
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yay. For those of you who didn't watch the update video, because it was 20 fucking minutes long, John graduated college, so I will be the first to say
Stab
congratulations. Welcome
Thank
to
you.
the adult world.
Thank you.
And yeah, so there you go.
Oh man, yeah, it's been a while.
Been a minute
It's
since
certainly, yeah. All right then, I guess enough of the introduction. So today we are going to be reading a very famous, if not infamous, story that all 14-year-olds say is really cool, and that's about it. I'm not gonna say if it's bad or
William's
good.
gonna love this story.
This is the most well-known creepypasta ever.
Okay.
Ben drowned?
It is Jeff the Killer.
Oh, I've heard of
I've
that.
heard of
actually.
this
I have
one.
heard of that
Oh,
one. I have not
dear.
heard of this.
People are gonna watch this
I'm excited.
because people like Jeff.
Fan-
There's a lot
fan-
of fanfic.
We're gonna
of
do some
Jeff.
fan service.
Oh man,
Oh,
not
oh.
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
God.
Yep.
It's like the Joker had a son.
I've definitely seen that. Yeah.
Jeff the Killer goes.
I've seen the picture.
It's like if the Joker and the Smiling Man fucked and they had a baby.
Hold
So
on.
hold on, is this the original story?
I can't find it.
I don't know. It's not loading right now.
Hold on.
Is that why?
Okay, my
God said, find the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Just so everyone knows, Skillfully insists that no one knows the story going in. So
Right.
now we all have to Google
We're
it. at
sitting
the
here in
same
awkward
time.
silence.
And we sit here in awkward silence with nothing to fill the airtime.
Oh, I got it.
So you can direct all your hate mail to him.
I got it.
I
I
don't
got the black screen this time, not the white screen.
Oh shit, how many
Lord.
pumpkins is that?
That is 9. No, 8.7.
8.7
pumpkins.
pumpkins per
Out of
10.
Out of 10.
That's good.
229,675.
I'm on the same website now.
Alright, do we all got it pulled up?
Can you use my phone?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You have that for me.
Oh my god.
It's got a lot of pumpkins.
William's phone is complete garbage, so he will be using my phone today. I'll be using
Yeah.
my laptop.
That's
Yeah,
fine
my
with me.
phone's trash.
What kind of phone do you have?
Shut up! I'm not saying. It's really
Well, it
bad.
couldn't be
It's the only non-smartphone.
It's like it is a smartphone.
Bullshit!
It's a ZTE Valet, which is a real
What
thing.
is that?
Yup, it's something.
What did
Chinese.
you have?
Frickin-
I think
before?
it's
I had like
Chinese.
I had like a pay as you go phone, but now I graduated to a big boy phone. So
Yeah,
you
I'll
don't
get
remember
there
the
someday.
slidey phone. Come on.
That's true.
You guys still have the slidey phone?
Yeah, the LG
Yeah.
Cosmos 3.
Oh my god.
I have a Samsung Galaxy 5 because I'm smart.
I have,
Smart
I have a
phone.
6.
Oh man,
Peasant.
I
I
don't
don't pay for data and shit.
Peasant.
Fuck you.
It'll work. Just
Okay,
go for
Are
it.
we
you wanna
good to go?
start it off?
So much for superior technology, you know.
So what are your thoughts going into this? Jeff the Killer.
Based on that photo.
Basic as fuck.
Basic as fuck.
He's like a Voldemort baby. He's got no
He
nose.
does. He does. That's the source of his power, don't you know?
Like Dead Bart, this
No
is
nose,
very,
nose.
very mixed opinion.
Oh no, is this going to be a Dead Bart style thing? I don't want it to be bad.
It's not Lost Episode now.
Okay.
8.7 pumpkins.
It's
and Saints
even
bad.
better or worse.
No,
I won't
to-
say which.
To be fair, didn't the House of Death for Cod have 9.3?
Oh, it did. Oh dear.
Just didn't bring us down like that. We're happy.
Maybe we're just
Oh,
like
my
creepypasta hipsters and we hate on all the really cool creepypastas.
You're the creepy. If anybody's the hipster, you're the creepypasta hipster of the podcast. All right, let's kick this off, John.
All right,
Let's do
so
it.
this is the infamous story of Jeff the Killer, written by Anonymous. Excerpt from local newspaper. Anonymous killer still at large.
Ominous killer, unknown killer. Is still
Unknown
at large.
I don't know why
Really
my mouth
butchered-
is not working today.
Butchered that opening.
After weeks of unexplained murders, the anonymous unknown killer.
Ominous.
Get it again.
Shit.
Completely different word.
Ominous.
Start the podcast over.
Yes.
Start it over.
The
Here's why
word-
she didn't graduate.
Unknown killers.
This just in. His degree was revoked.
After little evidence has been found, a young boy states that he survived one of the killer's attacks and bravely tells the story. I had a bad dream, and I woke up in the middle of the night, says the boy. I saw that for some reason the window was open, even though I remember it being closed before I went to bed. I got up and shut it once more. Afterwards, I simply crawled under my covers and tried to get some sleep. That's when I had a strange feeling, like someone was watching me. I looked up and nearly jumped out of my bed. There, in the little ray of light, illuminating between my curtains, were a pair of two eyes. These weren't regular eyes. They were dark, ominous eyes.
You gotta write that to me.
They bordered in black, and it just plain terrified me. That's when I saw his mouth. His mouth. It's another mouth story, guys. This will be great.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Enough of you.
A long, horrendous smile that made every hair on my
John's got a
body
mouth
stand up. The figure stood there watching me. Finally, after what seemed like forever, he said it. A simple phrase, but said it in a way only a madman could speak. Go to sleep.
He said, "Go to sleep." I let out a scream. That's what sent him at me. He pulled up a knife, aiming at my heart. He jumped on top of my bed. I fought him back. I kicked, I punched, I rolled around, trying to knock him off me. That's when my dad busted in. The man threw the knife, and it went into my dad's shoulder. The man probably would have finished him off if one of the neighbors hadn't alerted the police.
So, like, quick question: is this just like you cherry picking, John, or is creepypasta really are into like weird mouths?
Yeah,
this
there's
is like the
some
million
weird
story
oral
thread
fixation
with this
No,
real like
there is
horror
oral
thing.
indeed. I mean, it's I don't know.
This
I
is
mean,
the
like,
spiritual
but
successor to the
that's like-
Smiling Man.
that's like
line.
an
it's
I'm
not.
like,
Do you have a mouth fetish? Just tell
No,
us.
I don't.
No, but like I'm like a genuine question. Like, is this like a huge focal
like its own
point
trope,
in a
yeah.
lot?
No, not
that's
really.
That's what I'm wondering.
No.
If it's like
Yeah.
a tropey thing.
I mean,
to be,
I
like,
think
mouth
there's a lot of.
focused.
I think like distorted faces and stuff is a theme, definitely. I mean,
It's
but
a-
it's more than just mouths.
it's a hyper realistic smile.
phone.
that?
Yeah, I feel like they kind of
That's a
focus a
hotline.
lot
No.
on like it's not like a body horror style thing, but it's very much this kind of physical like face focus.
Where is that coming from?
Hello. Welcome to your first night at Freddy Fazbear's Party.
You don't want to talk about crappy meme bullshit like Slenderman, but you're gonna bring up Five Nights? Come on.
Yeah,
All right,
pick one.
Oh, I forgot something about that.
Oh yeah, where the okay, yeah. Do you want to keep going, Andy?
Yeah, I'll keep it.
Okay.
They drove into the parking lot and ran towards the door. The man turned and ran down the hallway. I heard a smash like glass breaking. As I came out of my room, I saw the window that was pointing towards the back of my house was broken. I looked out it to see him vanish into the distance. I can tell you one thing: I will never forget that face, those cold, evil eyes, and that psychotic smile. They will never leave my head.
Do you know what this reminds me of already?
The Joker,
No.
as all of them.
What?
Close. It's another comic book, Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, by Jonah Vasquez.
Maybe.
However you pronounce it.
Name dropping there.
Well, he
just
was
finish off
created
that.
Raiders in-
Yeah, just read those last like
Oh,
two
okay.
sentences.
Police are still on the look for this man. If you see anyone that fits the description in this story, please contact your local police department.
So the way that this story is set up, basically the first couple of paragraphs are this ominous newspaper
It's like a
excerpt,
prologue.
and now without warning, the next paragraph is now the story.
Okay.
Oh.
It's a preface. Jeff and his family had just moved into a new neighborhood. His dad had gotten a promotion at work, and they thought it would be best to live in one of those fancy neighborhoods. Jeff and his brother Lou couldn't complain, though. A new, better house. What was not to love? As soon as they were getting unpacked, one of their neighbors came by. "Hello," she said. "I'm Barbara. I live across the street from you. Well, I just wanted to introduce myself and to introduce my son." She turned around and calls her son over. "Billy, these are our new neighbors." Billy said hi and ran back to play in his yard.
"Well," said Jeff's mom, "I'm Margaret, and this is my husband, Peter, and my two sons, Jeff and Lou." Weird way to spell that. They each introduced themselves, and then Barbara invited them to her son's birthday. Jeff and his brother were about to object when their mother said that they would love to. When Jeff and his family are done packing, Jeff went up to his mom. "Mom, why would you invite us to some kid's party? If you haven't noticed, I'm not some dumb kid."
What a dick.
Also, I'm not one for the spelling mistakes in the creepypasta, but when you spell myself with a space, I mean, even I cringe at that one, but that's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, this isn't knocking it out of the park in that department. Jeff said his mother, "We just moved here. We should show that we want to spend time with our neighbors. Now we're going to that party, and that's final." Jeff started to talk, but stopped himself, knowing that he couldn't do anything. Whenever his mom said something, it was final.
Whatever, Mom.
Yeah, this sounds like it was written by, like,
I'm gonna go to
someone
Hot Topic.
Jeff's age.
Well, that's what John
That's
said. It was
I lo-
14-year-olds.
That's
This
why I-
genuinely feels like that already.
That's one of the reasons I do, like, I'm not going to say whether I like or hate this story, like, overall. That's one of the reasons I do, like, I like imagining it like that, like, oh.
Because, like,
Whatever, Mom.
no. When you read the line, if you haven't noticed, "I'm not some dumb kid," like, it's not written as if that's a dumb thing to say. It's
I'm not
written
some
like,
dumb kid,
It's
Mom.
written like the-
I'm 13. I'm practically an adult.
Right, and some dumb kid would say that.
Exactly. No, it's very telling. He walked up to his room and plopped down on the bed. He sat there looking at his ceiling when suddenly he got a weird feeling. Not so much a pain, but a weird feeling. He dismissed it as just some random feeling. He heard his mother call him down to get his stuff, and he walked down to get it. So Jeff's hitting puberty. That's good.
He felt a weird sinking feeling in his groin.
Oh, man.
The next day, Jeff walked downstairs to get breakfast and got ready for school. As he sat there eating his breakfast, he once again got that feeling. This time it was stronger. It gave him a slight tugging pain, but he once again dismissed it. As he and Lou finished breakfast, they walked down to the bus stop. They sat there waiting for the bus, and then, all of a sudden, some kid on a skateboard jumped over them, only inches above their laps. They both jumped back in surprise. Hey, what the hell?
This is
written
really weird.
This is written really badly.
I wouldn't say badly. I would just say weird. Like it sounds like this narrator's like reporting on the events.
I think the biggest thing is the lack of vocabulary.
Yes.
He repeats a lot of words, or
That's
she,
true.
very quickly.
That's true.
This is the thing with our generation.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
And now, on Scare Your Friend,
There we go.
Grandpa Dylan. Take it away, Dylan.
I said hour. Fuck you. 1, 2.
It doesn't matter. You're
Us
still
on the
saying,
internet.
"Oh, man."
Us on the internet. Like when we ever go on the internet, do we give a shit how we type or write?
Some of us do.
But this is not.
I
This
do.
is not.
And this is a story,
chat
Dylan.
or elite speak.
This
This
is
is a
not-
story.
I know this is a story. Yes.
Like when I text people, yes, I don't give a shit. But when I'm writing something, I absolutely care about how
pride
I'm
in
writing. Right.
you can't pronounce it correctly.
I'm not talking about like writing. I'm not talking about grammar, even Dylan. I'm talking about the way, like
The way it's written,
this
which
section
is technically
where he goes.
grammar.
Suddenly, he got a weird feeling. Not much of pain, but a weird feeling. He dismissed it as just some random feeling. The word "feeling" just
And
3
it's
times.
used 3 times.
As the
Yeah.
entirety of like the explanation. Like there's no description. There's no.
Yeah, what kind of weird
Maybe so.
feeling in
Fuck
it?
the creepypastas. Let's talk about grammar.
No, I'm just saying like it's constructed.
Hi,
in a
and
very-
welcome to Grammar Friends, the only podcast on the internet that's more boring than Grammar Nazis.
This
It's
reads-
more boring than the Scary Friends podcast.
This
Oh my
reads-
God!
I mean, it reads like a middle school report so far.
It does. It
And
does.
that fucking like the kid on the skateboard jumps over them. Am I reading
Hold on,
Goosebumps?
wait.
Yeah.
We're up to my favorite part.
Okay.
The kid landed and turned back to them. He kicked his skateboard up and caught it with his hands. The kid seems to be about 12, 1 year younger than Jeff.
There it is.
He wore an what the hell is that word?
Aeropostale.
He wore an Aeropostale shirt and ripped blue jeans.
Can we wait?
Well.
Wait.
Just a moment.
This is. This is okay. This is what really sold it for me. This is coming off like
It's a bad 90s
creepypasta
movie. It's a
like creepypasta fan fiction. That's what
Yeah.
it feels like. like if creepypasta was like, that's what it feels like. It feels like somebody's writing a fan
Hold
fiction.
on, I'm not done. You're gonna love it even more.
I'm sorry.
Well. It looks like we got some new meat.
Oh no!
Suddenly, 2 other kids appeared. One was super skinny, and the other was huge. Well, since you're new here, I'd like to introduce ourselves. Over there is Keith. Jeff and Lou looked over to the skinny kid. He had a dopey face that you would expect a sidekick to have. And he's Troy. He looked over at the fat kid. Talk about a tub of lard. This kid looked like he hadn't exercised since he was crawling.
Oh my god.
That's a great line!
Oh, man.
This instantly redeemed the story. That was great.
And I, said the first kid, am Randy. Now, for all the kids in this neighborhood, there is a small price for bus fare. If you catch my drift. Lou stood up, ready to punch the lights out of the kid's eyes, when one of his friends pulled out a knife and said, Tisk, I was hoping you'd be more cooperative. But it seems we must do this the hard way.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, William is cringing.
They move into like an upper middle class neighborhood.
Hold on.
And there's the gang
There's
fucking
hoodlums.
knifing children at the bus stop for their lunch money.
Aren't they like a year
fancy
younger?
neighborhoods.
Aren't they a year younger, too?
Yeah, I don't know.
The kid walked up to Lou and took his wallet out of his pocket. Jeff got that feeling again. Now it was truly strong, a burning sensation. He
Wait.
stood up, but Lou gestured for him to sit down. Jeff ignored him and walked up to the kid.
Isn't Lou younger?
I think Lou's his older brother.
Oh, okay.
Listen, you little punk. Give back my bro's wallet or else. Randy put the wallet in his pocket and pulled out his own knife.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit!
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit!
It's a sword fight!
Oh
This
man.
is fucking
No
absurd.
one wins in a knife fight, for the record. Knife fights are the worst ever. 2 people get stabbed, 2 people probably die.
Listen,
That's
okay?
Don't
I watched
question
West Side Story.
Yeah.
It does not end well.
Don't go down that road.
All right, Nate, I want you to read this like you're a punk-ass 12-year-old. Let's go.
So just read it.
Nicely done. Well played.
Drops the mic. All right, go, Nate.
I'm sorry.
Oh, what will you do? Just as he finished the sentence, Jeff popped the kid in the nose. Oh, shit.
Guys, this is the most well-known creepypasta ever. I don't know what you're talking about.
What
are we reading?
Oh
This
my
is
God.
art. We're reading stand-up.
This
This is how you stand up
Nate,
to bullies.
Jeff
Guys, you just don't get it yet. It's art.
I'm
Shh, Nate.
Jeff popped the kid in the nose. As Randy reached for his face, Jeff grabbed the kid's wrist and broke it.
William's losing it.
Oh, God. Jesus.
I was really hesitating to pick this story, but I'm married to it now.
I'm scared. I don't know what's coming.
I'm in physical pain.
Oh my God.
Please finish
Alright.
the paragraph.
Yeah,
All right,
please.
power through this agony.
William actually fell back in his chair.
Oh my God.
Randy screamed and Jeff grabbed the knife from his hand. Troy and Keith rushed Jeff, and Jeff was too quick. He threw Randy to the ground. Keith lashed out at him, but Jeff ducked and stabbed him in the arm.
Holy shit.
Keith dropped his knife and fell to the ground screaming. Troy rushed him too, but Jeff didn't even need the knife. Oh shit. He just punched Troy straight in the stomach and Troy went down. As he fell, he puked all over. Lou could do nothing but look in amazement at Jeff.
It's like some
Okay.
new sci-fi.
All right, let
How
me.
old's the kid? How old is
No,
Jeff?
no. Hang on. Let me
He's
tell you
12.
exactly what
As they
happens.
said the other kids were 13, he's a year younger, so he's 12.
All right, ready? Here's what
So happy I
happened.
picked this.
Little Johnny Cumfuck.
His name is Jeff.
No. I'm talking about the author.
Oh, Randy.
Little Johnny Cumfuck lives a very sad life. And he goes to school in 6th grade and he gets beat up a lot, all right? And
He writes
the
the
kids
story.
probably take his money. So he comes home and he writes this story about how he's this super badass named Jeff who breaks kids' wrists and
stabs
gets into
them.
knife fights at bus stops in upper middle class
And
neighborhoods.
Mortal
And
Kombat's
I
a fat
just,
kid.
I'm blown away at how awful
God, there's so
this
much
is.
more to this.
I'm
to
gonna
go.
finish him.
You can.
And it's so long. There's so much more.
There is. Yeah, I looked through it.
This is
I
why-
will-
It'll be worth
will
it, I
say-
swear to
I will
God.
say, I'm going to say one thing.
What?
I'm going to say one thing.
Say
and
it.
then I'm going to start reading.
Yes, Dan.
The difference between this story and The House the Death Forgot is at least this is entertaining to read because it's funny. The other one was just fucking stupid.
It's true. They're so bad that it's funny. And
Like, this is like watching The Room, but basically
Yeah.
reading it.
This
Like,
is-
the other one was just
Okay,
terrible.
but so far, reading this, Does Jeff rank up on the Melinda scale? or
No, well,
We'll get
no,
there.
until we
No,
finish.
okay.
Wait until we finish.
Okay,
You're
let's
jumping the
finish.
gun on your own
Okay.
thing. I'm
I'm
okay.
just asking.
Okay.
Go.
Jeff, how'd you? That was all he said. They saw the bus coming and they knew they'd be blamed for the whole thing.
As they should be.
So they started running as fast as they could. As they ran, they looked back and saw the bus driver rushing over to Randy and the others. As Jeff and Lou made it to school, they didn't dare tell what happened. All they did was sit and listen. Wait, so they were going to take a bus to school, but they made it there by running, so...
Well, Jeff's clearly a superhero, so he
Yeah,
probably put his
clearly.
brother on his back and just sprinted at the
All
speed
they
of
did
light.
was sit and listen. Lou just thought of that as his brother... Wait, Lou just
Yeah.
thought of that as his brother beating up a few kids. But Jeff knew it was more. It was something scary. Something, comma, scary. As he got that feeling, he felt how powerful it was. The urge to just hurt someone. He didn't like how it sounded, but he couldn't help feeling happy. He felt that strange feeling go away and stay away for the entire day of school, even as he walked home due to the whole thing near the bus stop, and how now he probably wouldn't be taking the bus anymore. He felt happy. When he got home, his parents asked him how his day was, and he said in a somewhat anonymous voice, it was a wonderful day. Next morning, he heard a knock at his front door. He walked down to find 2 police officers at the door. His mother looking back at him with an angry look.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no!
Guys, don't you know what happens?
What?
When you beat up bullies, you get blamed. That's
Yeah.
my favorite part of the story.
That's true.
This
That's
creepypasta is
absolutely
art,
true.
guys. It's my favorite
absolutely
one.
You know what?
I'm not
do you know-
kidding.
Do you know what
I'm not dead inside either.
you know what my parents said? Because, I mean, I think I'm not going to... But I used to get picked on when I was a kid, right? Because I'm a
Well,
fucking...
Oh, I did too.
I was
Yeah,
a fucking
yeah.
dweeb.
I
Well,
never was.
my
Newsflash,
mom
we're
always told me, she
Fucking
goes,
ass.
if you ever... My mom always told me, she goes, if you ever get picked on and you beat the shit out of the kid that was picking on you and you get suspended, she goes... you're not in trouble at all. She goes, we will take you to Disneyland.
Hey, that's like
She's
all I
you
say.
Did you?
defend? No, I never did. 'Cause I'm
Our
just not a
parents-
violent kid.
our
but-
parents-
Yeah, I'm not either.
Same thing with
Nate and I, our
I'm
parents-
not like Jeff the Killer, although I've had some weird feelings in my stomach sometimes.
Oh no.
Nate and I had
But it's
the
usually
same
just
thing.
gas.
Yeah, don't
Nate and I had the same thing with
Well,
our
that's
parents,
because-
except this time I actually punched.
That's true.
I hit the bullies back,
That's true.
and they didn't.
All right, let's keep reading the chair.
Well, let's go. Dylan, go ahead.
Where were we? Oh, here we go. Jeff, these officers tell me that you attacked 3 kids, that it wasn't regular fighting, and that they were stabbed. Stabbed, son!
Stabbed!
Jeff's gaze fell to the floor, showing his mother that it was true. Mom, they were the ones
Mom.
who pulled the knives on me and Lou. Son, said one of the cops, we found 3 kids, 2 stabbed, 1 having a bruise on his stomach, and we have witnesses proving that you fled the scene. Now what does that tell us?
This is really bad.
Jeff knew it was no use. He could say him and Lou had been attacked, but then there was no proof it was not them who attacked first. They couldn't say that they weren't fleeing, because truth be told, they were.
So,
Let me finish.
sorry.
So Jeff couldn't defend himself or Lou.
So if people saw them getting stabbed,
Yeah.
wouldn't they have seen
Yeah,
the,
what's
the
up there?
original confrontation?
Right.
Is this going anywhere?
It doesn't feel like
this-
that.
Oh, it's going somewhere. It's just where you keep stopping.
This story is a cry for help from its author.
Well, it's just no bars.
This poor young child
Oh my god.
has suffered greatly and feels a lot of
Oh.
impotent rage that he is too weak-willed to act upon. And so he comes home and he writes these stories, and his little penis gets a little stiff. And he puts it on the internet, and I guess other like-minded, downtrodden individuals flock to it, and they all get stiff too.
So this is
And I
Will's
just-
last podcast?
I absolutely love that this is the most well-known creepypasta.
I know. It's great.
I
It's fantastic.
love it.
And also,
I love that.
am I crazy, or is the mother constantly referring to him as son kind of weird and not what humans do?
Son.
Like that, like,
Sorry.
you know,
obviously
son, call your
something's gonna
brother.
happen.
Stabbed, son. Like, it's just very, like...
Stabbed, son!
Yeah, no,
That's
she-
my favorite line.
As she throws her hands up and gyrates.
It's like Mamma Mia, like stabbed.
Jess.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right.
It's
All right.
gonna be like a
Let me
2-hour
continue.
podcast.
Yeah,
so we
yeah,
don't
yeah.
keep
Let me-
going.
At least this is moving.
Yeah.
Let me continue.
it's not.
Let me continue. Like
I've
the
read
next-
this before, Dad. It's not moving.
Right.
We have so much to go.
All right, keep going.
And we're gonna. It gets
No, I
better.
can't do it. I can't do it.
Doesn't.
Don't. I can't.
Oh, it gets so much better.
No.
You think you can hear it?
Dylan, just do like 5
Yeah,
paragraphs.
do
It's
whatever,
small.
do whatever you want to do.
Power through it.
Son, what the hell? Son, call down your brother. Jeff couldn't do it, since it was him who beat up all the kids. Sir, it was me. I was the one who beat up the kids. Lou tried to hold me back, but he couldn't stop me. The cop looked at his partner, and they both nodded.
Oh my god.
Well, kid, looks like you got it.
Get the line out.
Just like that.
Get the line out.
Well, kid, looks like a year in juvie.
Oh, just
I'm
like that. No trial, no nothing.
These police officers are juries, don't you know?
Oh my god. This is
Jury, and prosecution.
I was
did
about to
tell
say
you.
this is an alternate reality where they're actually the judges are actually like Judge Dredd judges.
But wait, guys, what they don't tell you is this story takes place in North Korea, where
Right.
you get arrested
That would
for
explain
stealing flags.
That would explain the spelling of the name Lou.
that one expect.
Oh man, we're being a little racist right
Okay,
now.
let me continue. Wait, says Lou. They all looked up to see him holding a knife. The officers pulled their guns and locked them on Lou. It was me. I beat up those little punks. I have the marks to prove it. He lifted up his sleeves to reveal cuts and bruises as if he was in a struggle. What the hell? Son, just put the knife down, said the officer. Lou held up the knife and dropped it to the ground. He put his hands up and walked over to the cops. No, Lou, it was me. I did it. Jeff had tears running down his face. Huh, poor bro. Trying to take the blame for what I did. Well, take me away. The police led Lou out to the patrol car. Lou, tell them it was me. Tell them. I was the one who beat up those kids. Jeff's mother put her hands on his shoulders. Jeff, please, you don't have to lie. We know it's Lou. You can
We always knew you were the better one.
Jeff watched helplessly as the cop car speeds off with Lou inside. A few minutes later, Jeff's dad pulls into the driveway, seeing Jeff's face and knowing something was wrong.
Okay, you know what I always imagine the mother of this story is? You know the mother from Drake and Josh?
Yes.
Her.
Yes.
She, in the face of all the shit that Drake and Josh did, her face when they, cost them $100,000 for, crashing a helicopter was this.
Yeah.
Like this. Oh my god. It's like, it's okay. We know you're the good son, Jeff. You, Lou, though, you're going to jail. Because we live in communist North Korea.
And your name's spelled L-I-U, not L-O-U.
Oh my god.
Son, what is it? Jeff couldn't answer. His vocal cords were strained from crying. Instead, Jeff's mother walked his father inside to break the bad news to him as Jeff wept in the driveway.
So, for the record, Jeff's another little Easter egg here, because this story is really deep. Jeff's father is actually deaf because he can't hear. He can't. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just fucking.
So you may be doing
No,
that
but seriously,
for reason.
no. But seriously, Lou is screaming, holding a knife at two cops, and he's like, and they have their guns trained on him. It was me, and my father's like, what's going on?
Well, I half expected them to shoot Lou, obviously.
I was
This is
hoping.
where the story's going.
Yeah.
Okay, after an hour or so, Jeff walked back into the house, seeing that his parents were both shocked, sad, and disappointed. He couldn't look at them. He couldn't see how they thought of Lou when it was his fault. He just went to sleep, trying to get the whole thing off his mind. 2 days went by with no word from Lou at JDC. No friends to hang out with, nothing but sadness and guilt. That is until Saturday, when Jeff is woke up by his mother with a happy, sunshiny face. Jeff, it's the day, she said, as she opened up the curtains and let light flood into his room. Wait, what's today? Asked Jeff.
What's today?
What's today? Asked Jeff.
I thought it was way too.
Yeah, as he stirs awake. Why, it's Billy's party. He was now fully awake. Mom, you're joking, right? You don't expect me to go to some kid's party after.
There's some weird grammar, pronoun trouble.
There
Jeff.
was a long pause.
Jeff, you both know what happened. I think this party could be the thing that brightens up
No.
those past days.
Hell no.
No mother,
No,
after a domestic dispute like this,
This-
would ever do that.
Now get dressed.
This
Jeff's
is-
mother walked out of the room and downstairs to get
It's
herself
really-
ready. He fought himself to get up. He picked up a random shirt
Picked
and a
out.
pair of jeans and walked downstairs.
It's like, damn.
He saw his mother and father all dressed up. His mother in a dress and his father
Oh,
in a
no.
suit. He thought,
Oh no!
why would they ever wear such fancy clothes to a kid's
no.
party?
They're not going to the
Will,
kids'
what were you
party.
going to say? Yeah, thank you, John.
Thanks, Noah.
Son,
What
is
were
that
you
what
gonna
you're...
say? Wait, Will, what were you
Oh,
going to say?
sorry.
No. I'm just let's power through this.
Okay.
This is something else.
Sorry, I
Son,
just got that.
is this what you're going to wear? Said Jeff's mom. Better than wearing too much, he said. His mother pushed down the feeling to yell at him and hit it with a smile. Now, Jeff, we may be overdressed, but this is how you go if you want to make an impression, said his father. Jeff grunted and went back up to his room.
Oh,
I don't have any fancy clothes! He yelled from
Why
downstairs.
would you do that?
My ears.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, Poppy. I have to edit this audio. It's so fun.
You're such an idiot.
Oh,
You're the one who does the audio
Fine,
editing, and you're
it's
the one who
fine.
just
It's worth it.
Why does
Trust
this,
me.
This feels like he just went to bed and also.
Dude, he's going to the.
Oh my god,
he's going to a
fucking
kid's.
dream sequence.
Guys, he's going to a kid's party. He needs.
Okay,
What's he gonna wear?
You have one thought every time we read, and that everything's a dream
I'm a
sequence.
one-minded
No.
guy. Okay, shut up.
We know.
I panned ahead just to see how long this was, and now I'm about to have a panic attack. So if we could please stop interrupting and really get through this. This is rough.
Okay.
I'm suffering.
This may
William, it's only gonna get better.
I know.
It's gonna get so much better.
I know.
Remember
Go
that
ahead.
picture of Jeff?
Nate, go ahead.
John, I hate you. Just pick out something, called his mother. He looked around in his closet for what we would call fancy. He found a pair of black dress pants he had for special occasions and an undershirt. He couldn't find a shirt to go with it, though. He looked around and found only striped and patterned shirts, none of which go with the dress pants. Finally, he found a white hoodie and put it on. What? You're wearing that? They both said. His mother looked at her watch. Oh no, time to change. Let's just go. She said as she herded Jeff and his father out the door. They crossed the street over to Barbara and Billy's house. They knocked on the door, and at it appeared at Barbara just like his parents way over. What?
Okay, so that plot twist we all were expecting clearly was not happening. Okay.
As they walked inside, all Jeff could see were adults, no kids. The kids are out in the yard. Jeff, how about you go and meet some of them? Said Barbara. Jeff walked outside to a yard full of kids. They were running around in weird cowboy costumes and shooting. What? Oh, shooting each other with plastic guns.
Did you read that totally wrong? You walked down to the backyard, just saw a massacre.
He might as well be standing in Toys R Us. Suddenly, a kid came up to him and handed him a toy gun and hat. Hey, wanna play? He said. No, kid, I'm way too old for this stuff. The kid looked at him with that weird puppy dog face. Oh no,
All right, Dan,
please take that over.
Oh no.
Enjoy.
Oh no. Please, said the kid. Fine, said Jeff. He put on the hat and started pretending to shoot at the kids. This is not gonna end well. At first he thought it was totally ridiculous, but then he started to actually have fun.
Oh my God.
It might not have been super cool, but it was the first time he had done something that took his mind off Lou. So he played with the kids for a while until he heard a noise. A weird rolling noise. Then it hit him. Randy, Troy, and Keith all jumped over the fence on their skateboards.
No! On their skateboards, man!
Randy,
These guys
already
are
3 days later, recovered from the knife wound in his arm.
And a broken wrist.
Jumped over the fence. Jeff dropped the fake gun and ripped off the hat. Randy looked at Jeff with a burning hatred. Hello, Jeff. Jeff, is it? He said. We all...
You think you remember the kid that stabbed him,
Right.
but you know.
Well,
Yeah,
he's being coy. We have some unfinished business. Jeff saw his bruised nose. I think we're even. I beat the crap out of you, and you get my brother sent to JDC. Randy got an angry look in his eyes. Oh no, I won't go for even. I won't go for even. I go for winning. The Charlie Sheen approach.
Yeah.
You may have kicked our asses that one day, but not today. As he said that, Randy rushed to Jeff. They both fell to the ground. Randy punched Jeff in the nose, and Jeff grabbed him by the ears and headbutted him.
Oh.
Jeff pushed Randy off of him, and both rose to their feet. Kids were screaming, and parents were running out of the house. Troy and Keith both pulled guns out of their pockets.
Okay, wait. So this is one of the biggest contradictions in the Jeff thing. If all the mistakes, the fact that the parents are running away, not trying to help with these 12-year-olds.
Oh my god.
Wait, how old are they again?
Is this supposed to be?
Well, he's 13. They're like 12.
Is this supposed to be a nice neighborhood?
Yes! It's supposed to be a nice neighborhood. The kids are walking around with being able to buy firearms.
This is ridiculous.
No one is...
This story is dire.
It's great.
Wait, Dylan, quick, read the next
No.
line.
I really want to read it.
Read it, go.
No one interrupt, or guts will fly, they said. Randy pulled a knife on Jeff and stabbed it into his shoulder. Tag out.
Jeff screamed and fell to his knees. Randy started kicking him in the face. After 3 kicks, Jeff grabs his foot and twisted, causing Randy to fall to the ground. Jeff stood up and walked towards the back door. Troy grabbed him. Need some help?
I'm sorry. You know what bothers me the most? That it keeps going from, like, current, like current tense
The
to
tenses,
past tense.
they
right.
flip constantly.
It switches
In the
constantly.
same sentences.
Right. It's present and then past and then present and then past.
It's
What the fuck?
John, why'd you
Anyway,
do
I'm
this
sorry,
to
Dylan.
us?
Go ahead.
Need some help?
John, your
He picks
face.
Jeff up by the back of the collar and throws him through the patio door.
What?
As Jeff,
This is WWE.
Guys, 12-year-olds are really strong.
it's Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton. Get it through your heads, okay?
This is unbelievable.
So Randy Orton came up and threw Jeff through the
Threw Jeff Hardy through the door, okay?
I'm a fucking snake.
As Jeff tries to stand, he is kicked down to the ground. Randy repeatedly starts kicking Jeff until he starts to cough up blood.
Oh.
Come on, Jeff, fight me. He picks Jeff up and throws him
You
into the
won't
kitchen.
fight me.
Randy sees a bottle of vodka on the counter and smashes the
There's
glass
vodka at the
over
kids'
Jeff's
party.
head.
There's vodka at the kids' party.
No.
This is WWE shit.
Do you know what this is like? This is like the fight scene of Pineapple Express. That's how, this is what it's like with 12-year-olds. Which honestly, if they adapt any creepypasta to a movie, this is the one I want to see.
This is it.
Because this would be a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old fist fighting.
Get the
with
Matrix
bottles and knives
involved.
and
Just
guns.
slow motion. Jeff dodges gunfire.
Holy shit!
Didn't he say the house was full of adults?
Yes,
They all ran. With
they
this-
ran away.
They
They're
all
like,
ran.
they went
They didn't even
drunk
call
to
the
shoot.
cops. They just ran
They ran
away.
a
They're
gun,
scared.
remember?
Yeah,
I
they're 12.
I
They're
can't
adults.
handle the level of sheer idiocy.
I know.
This is
What time
Williams,
period is
the
this?
House that Death Forgot.
Is
this
modern?
Maybe
modern,
change
yeah.
kids,
It's 2011.
kids' age. Maybe.
Nate, this was written in 2011.
All right, wait,
2011 was way
who was up?
I'm still going.
Okay.
Fight! He throws Jeff back into the living room. Come on, Jeff, look at me. Jeff glances up, his face riddled with blood. I was the one who got your brother sent to JDC, and now you're just going to sit here and let him rot in there for a whole year. You should be ashamed. Jeff starts to get up.
Wait, how does he know that?
See, here's the thing about this story. This is so comically awful that if we sat here and picked apart all the ridiculous inconsistencies and horrible writing,
Yeah.
really questionable choice of vocabulary.
This is so long.
Just exactly.
my
We'd be
God.
here. No. That's the thing. We'd be here forever. This is awful.
I feel like if they changed the ages, maybe, and were the location.
No, not even.
no.
Not even.
We
That makes it worse. They're
we
mature.
talked about how the House that Death Forgot is almost irreparable. This is
On
fucking
a
irreparable.
fundamental level, this is
Holy
broken.
shit! And I
man.
love it. And I love it.
Yes,
I
thank
love
you.
it. I love this.
Thank
story.
you.
Dude, this
It's great.
all I'm
Fantastic.
picturing in my head is Randy Orton fighting
Oh my
Jeff Hardy.
God.
This is insane.
Ugh.
Continue, Will.
It's incredible. William gets to read. Thank you. I want to see him age a couple of years.
It really looks like it already. Oh man.
Oh god, the hairline's already receding.
Oh, finally, you stand and fight. Jeff is now to his feet, blood and vodka on his face. Once again, he gets that strange feeling, the one which he hasn't felt for a while. Finally, he's up, says Randy as he runs at Jeff. That's when it happens. Something inside Jeff snaps. His psyche is destroyed. All rational thinking is gone. All he can do is kill.
Kill.
He grabs Randy and pile drives him to the ground.
Round.
He gets on top of him and punches him straight in the heart.
Heart!
The punch causes Randy's heart to stop.
Oh!
As Randy gasps for breath, Jeff hammers down on him. Punch after punch, blood gushes from Randy's body until he takes one final breath and dies.
Epic.
Everyone is looking at
Fatality!
Jeff now. The parents, the crying kids, even Troy and
everyone's still
Keith.
there. I thought they all.
They're watching this. Don't you know?
I guess they gathered around the ring.
Go! And Randy Orton, he throws Jeff into the patio bar. Oh shit!
Although they
The crowd's
easily,
like,
All right.
although they easily break from their gaze and point their guns at Jeff, those would have come in handy, guys, as your friend was being fucking murdered in front of you. Jeff sees the guns trained on him and runs for the stairs. As he runs, Troy and Keith let out fire on him, each shot missing. Jeff runs up the stairs, period. He hears Troy and Keith follow up behind, period. As they let out their final rounds of bullets, Jeff ducks into the bathroom. He grabs the towel rack and rips it off the wall.
Of course he
Troy and Keith race in, knives ready.
He ripped the towel thing off the wall.
This you gotta admit, Jeff's pretty resourceful.
Yes, he is, man.
This really is the fight from Pineapple Express. It's absurd how close it is.
Troy swings his knife at Jeff, who backs away and bangs the towel rack into Troy's face. Troy goes down hard, and now all that's left is Keith. He is more agile than Troy, though, and ducks when Jeff swings the towel rack. He drops the knife and grabbed Jeff by the neck. He pushed him into the wall. A thing of bleach fell down on top of him from the top shelf. It burnt both of them. This person's never felt bleach. And they both started to scream. Jeff wiped his eyes as best he could. He pulled back the towel rack and swung it straight into Keith's head. As he lay there bleeding to death, he let out an ominous smile.
Anonymous. How do you let out an ominous smile?
So-
He uses that word quite a lot.
Can we just
And I
say?
hate that word because I always fuck it up.
Does anybody hear the tone of Will's voice right now?
Yeah, he's
He's dead. His face. I wish I had a camera.
You could thank
His
John
face.
for that.
Oh my
I'm
God.
so happy I picked this story.
This is Will's The House the Devil
This is
Forgot.
pure
He's
suffering.
feeling exactly the way I felt
Dude,
in the last
seen
one.
that thing?
Holy
The
shit.
heart punch from WWE punching the.
Hold on.
Yeah, the X.
Wait, guys. The climax.
Oh my God.
Is it?
What's so funny? Asked Jeff. Keith pulls out a lighter and switched it on.
Oh shit!
What's so funny, he said, is that you're covered in bleach and alcohol. Jeff's eyes widened as Keith threw the lighter at him. As soon as the flame made contact with him, the flames ignited the alcohol in the vodka. Oh, I thought it was the alcohol from the bleach.
While the alcohol burned him, the bleach bleached his skin. Jeff let out a terrible screech as he caught on fire. He tried to roll out the fire, but it was no use. The alcohol had made him a walking inferno. He ran down the hall and fell down the stairs. Everybody started screaming as they saw Jeff, now a man on fire, drop to the ground nearly dead. The last thing Jeff saw was his mother and the other parents trying to extinguish the flame. That's when he passed out.
So this is the real origin of the Joker.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry
yeah.
about that. I had to walk away for a second. All right. When Jeff woke up, he had a cast wrapped around his face. He couldn't see anything, but he felt a cast on his shoulder and stitches all over his body. He tried to stand up, but he realized that there was some tube in his arm. And when he tried to get up, it fell out, and the nurse rushed in. "I don't think you can get out of bed just yet," she said, as she put him back in bed and reinserted the tube. Jeff sat there with no vision, no idea what his surroundings were, and finally, after hours, he heard his mother. "Oh, honey, are you okay?" What the? Jeff couldn't answer, though. His face was covered, and he was unable to speak. "Oh, honey, I have great news. After all the witnesses told the police that Randy confessed to trying to attack you, they decided to let Lou go."
Oh my.
This made Jeff almost bolt up, stopping halfway, remembering the tube coming out of his arm. "He'll be out by tomorrow, and then you'll be able to be together again."
No, you won't, because you're going to jail for killing someone.
Multiple
Jeff's
people.
mom hugs Jeff and says her goodbye.
Incredible.
The next couple of weeks were those where Jeff was visited by his family. Then came the day where the bandages were to be removed. His family were all there to see it, what he would look like. As the doctors unwrapped the bandages from Jeff's face, everyone was on the edge of their seats. They waited until the bandage holding the cover over his face was almost removed. "Well, let's hope for the best," said the doctor.
Fucking for real?
He quickly pulls off the cloth, letting the rest fall from Jeff's face.
Are you?
Jeff's
Wait,
mother
what?
screams at the sight of his face. Lou and Jeff's dad stare awestruck.
Oh my god.
No. Let's
Doctor.
wind that back. The doctor says to him and his family, "Let's hope for the
Let's hope
best."
Oh
That's
my
the way I said it to it. Let's hope for the best.
I want that
Oh my
doctor.
God!
I want that doctor.
This-
Holy shit!
It's just not.
We're a
This
fu-
is
we're a
this
fun
is
hospital.
this is great.
Okay, you
I'm
need to
really-
all right, you need to be Jeff here.
I'm having a great
Thanks,
time.
Doc. It worked.
What happened to my face? Jeff said. He rushed out of bed and ran to the bathroom. He looked in the mirror and saw the cause of distress. His face. It's horrible. His lips. What? Never mind. His lips were burnt to a deep shade of red. His face was turned into a pure white color, and his hair singed from brown to black. He slowly put his hand to his face. It had a sort of leathery feel to it now. He looked back at his family, then back at the mirror. "Jeff," said Lou, "it's not that bad." "Not that bad?" said Jeff. "It's perfect."
What? I'm gonna move to Gotham.
His family were equally surprised. Jeff started laughing uncontrollably. His parents noticed that his left eye and hand were twitching. Jeff, are you okay? Oh, come on.
Doing
This
it.
has
Dude,
Joker
I would-
origin
I
written
would
all over
love-
it.
I would love to do the next
Guys,
paragraph.
I'm really glad I'm here.
Yeah, Dan, go for
Jump
it, man.
in, Dan.
Okay. I've never felt more happy. Look at me. This face goes perfectly with me. Oh, boy, he couldn't stop laughing. He stroked his face, feeling it, looking at it in the mirror. What caused this? Well, you may recall that when Jeff was fighting Randy, something that happened 3 paragraphs ago.
Yeah, really.
Randy, something in his mind, his sanity snapped. Now he was left as this crazy killing machine. That is, his parents didn't know.
This is unbelievably badly written.
Doctor,
Oh my
said Jeff's mom,
God.
is my son all right? You know, in the head? Oh, yes, his behavior is typical for patients that have taken very large amounts of painkillers.
What?
If his
I love
behavior
this
doesn't
doctor.
change in a few weeks, bring him back here and we'll give him a psychological test.
Is this Dr.
Oh, thank you, doctor. Jeff's mother went over to Jeff. Jeff, sweetie, it's time to go home.
Okay, Doc, he's fine. He's just laughing.
This is Dr. Hartman helping this doctor, helping this kid. Oh my God.
Jeff looks away from the mirror, his face still formed into a crazy smile. Okay, Mommy! His mother took him by the shoulder and took him to get his clothes. Now I know how John felt when he did fucking funny mouth voice.
Oh
This is what came in, said the lady at the desk. Jeff's mom looked down to see the black dress, pants, and white hoodie his son wore. Now they were clean of blood and now stitched together. Jeff's mother led him to his room and made him put his clothes on. Then they left, not knowing that this was their final day of life.
Front loading the heart.
Tag in, Dylan.
Front loading the heart.
That's not front loading. That's vomiting out the heart.
Later that night, Jeff's mother woke to a sound coming from the bathroom. It sounded as if someone was crying. She slowly walked over to see what it was. When she looked into the bathroom, she saw a horrendous sight.
Yeah.
Jeff had taken a knife and carved a smile into his cheeks.
This is
Come on!
This is like
It's literally...
this is like Nick
Dark Knight
writing
on
his
crack.
Joker fan fiction when
Yeah.
he was 12 years old.
You want to
This
know
is-
how I got these scars?
Well, I used to be a boy named Jeff.
Jeff, what are you doing? Asked his mother. Jeff looked over to his mother. I couldn't keep smiling, Mommy. It hurt after a while. Now I can smile forever. Jeff's mother noticed his eyes, ringed in black. Jeff, your eyes! His eyes were seemingly never closing. I couldn't see my face. I got tired and my eyes started to close. I burnt out the eyelids so I could forever see
How does fire work to this person?
my new face. Jeff's mother slowly started to back away, seeing that her son was going insane.
Oh.
What's wrong, Mommy? Aren't I beautiful? Yes, son, she said. Yes, you are. Let me go get Daddy so he can see your face. She ran into the room and shook Jeff's dad from his sleep. Honey, get the gun.
Put him down! Old Yeller's had his time!
This is fucking incredible.
She stopped as she saw Jeff in the doorway, holding a knife. Mommy, you lied. That is the last thing they hear as Jeff rushes them with the knife, cutting both of them. Well,
You want to finish this one?
Yeah, Will, fucking finish it off, man.
His brother Lou woke up, startled by some noise. Who knows what it was? He didn't hear anything else, so he just shut his eyes and tried to go back to sleep.
Oh, well.
As he was on the border of slumber, he got the strangest feeling that someone was watching him. He looked up before Jeff's hand covered his mouth. He slowly raised the knife, ready to plunge it into Lou. Lou thrashed here and there, trying to escape Jeff's grip. Shh, Jeff said. Just go to sleep.
And that's
Killer
what,
ending.
That's
Oh my
what
God.
Will feels like doing right now.
Yep.
Holy
So
shit.
that was
So
Jeff the Killer.
So
Yes.
I didn't notice that, but the face at the end of that, you can see the actual face of it.
Yeah.
I've seen that
Yeah,
many
everywhere.
times.
Yeah.
I did not know it was that
It's like a
famous.
public
I don't know why
image.
it's famous. Maybe because it's fucking terrible.
Does this not happen? If this wasn't like, if you never heard the Joker and you saw this story, even how badly written it
This
was,
is Zack
you
Snyder's
could say
Joker.
this is
Yeah.
the Joker. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
exactly the Joker.
It's on crack.
Guys.
Oh, and the
Guys.
comments know it's bad, by the way.
Yeah, I was.
You can
coming
read
through
them.
I would hope so. I'm not
Guys.
going to.
Guys, this is my favorite story we've ever read.
Yeah.
This
No, it's just
made
fucking-
this
I'm glad
made
you're hearing it.
Dead Bart look like Crime and Punishment. This was
Oh,
unbelievably
may
atrocious.
I read half of this first comment, please?
Sure.
It's from an anonymous person. I can't believe you made the young boy at the beginning use words like illuminating, ominous, horrendous, and the list goes on.
Oh, man.
No kid talks like that, especially a young
That's
one.
your problem with this? That's what you single out in this portion of the story.
Just speak out and stuff which seem unnatural. It's like
This was... I mean, I feel like...
Will's done.
I'm genuinely... I'm drained after that. That was a draining... That
I
was
feel
almost...
rejuvenated.
John, I don't like you anymore.
There was almost a surreal aspect to how bad this was.
It really
It
was.
was-
I felt like I was
bad,
in a Twilight Zone portal of what creepypasta is. It just there's nothing redeeming in this story. Everything
This
is
is
awful.
unnecessary.
This made
It
me-
was
okay,
hackneyed. It
hold
was
on.
a Joker knockoff.
Hold on.
It was like terrible fan fiction.
Nate, because you weren't here for the last two, I want to hear your thoughts in explicit detail about the story. Not it was good or it was bad. I want to actually hear what you really, genuinely thought of this fucking story.
As another 12-year-old wannabe.
As an
Yeah.
aspiring lover of the Joker.
Spoiler, I'm 12. I fucking hate this. I think
Why?
the author deserves to die.
All right,
I
that's
don't-
all that
I
matters.
don't-
All right, that's
No,
all
no,
what's
no, I'm
Okay,
kidding. I'm
okay,
kidding. Right,
maybe
right.
we should just keep it was good.
No. But I think it was definitely. There's many things to point out. One major thing is it's unnecessarily long. The grammar's god awful. They like it. It's fanfic, Joker shit. It's definitely like that. The story's it's awful. Like Dan said earlier, I would if it was a movie I'd watch. I'd totally watch it.
This would be one of those bad movies that make you sit down and watch.
Yeah.
Yep.
John, I hate you. The
John,
most known one, you made it seem like we were gonna love it. We ended up.
I did.
I always
hating it.
do that, yeah. I always like to...
Hate
No, I
it.
liked it.
I liked it. I loved it.
I liked it too, yeah. I honestly like this story.
It's
so horrible.
Aside from what's terrible about it enough, what also is frustrating is that there's like nothing to discuss. There's nothing to
really-
analyze.
The only
This
thing good
story
talk
really
about.
speaks for itself.
It does.
The only thing good about this whole thing is the picture. That's all I can enjoy.
Yeah,
Well,
Dylan, go ahead.
see, while reading this, I used the old noodle up here.
Oh, boy.
I finally got
The
to use
single
my God.
noodle.
that. All I could picture was Randy Orton facing
Oh
Jeff
my
Hardy in the
God.
beginning, and then once they mentioned the him out of the cast with the face, I'm like, this could be a non-canon Joker origin story.
I just
It
have
really
to
could.
say that I've
It really
never
could.
seen William look this defeated
He
in my
really-
entire
he's
life.
His head is in his arms right now. Like
He's
he's
like,
just
man,
done.
fuck the shit.
And this is the first one we're recording
All right.
today.
I have my
You did
opinions
the
of Jeff.
last perfectly.
I have my
Yeah,
opinions
well,
of Jeff.
you gotta-
Get yours out, guys. Get yours out.
There's no. I mean, like we said, there's this story. This is the first story we've ever read that completely speaks for itself.
Yes.
This
Yes,
is
very true.
fucking horrendous. We don't even need to go into detail why. It's
Yeah.
apparent.
I mean, we're just repeating ourselves
Just
at this point.
reading
Yeah, we are.
Right,
We are.
So,
Right, but
Mm.
but again, as one more time, I fucking love this story, and people are gonna think I'm insane because I hated The House of Death Forgot. I hated The House of Death Forgot because it took itself seriously, and there were moments where it actually was decently written. This is just a 12-year-old or 13-year-old writing just a fucking terrible story.
you can't take it seriously.
No, you can't,
At
and
any
that's
point.
what I love. I love things when somebody puts their heart and soul into something, and it's so bad that everyone else finds it good.
It's like a B movie on sci-fi.
That's exactly what I love.
Someone really tried
I love it.
hard as
And
hell
that's
to
what I
write
love
this.
about it.
We didn't
That's
even
what I
get
love about
like emotionally involved. Like we were literally just interrupting the whole time.
Like this is
That's
like
how bad
first
it was.
draft.
We had to make fun of every little thing that
Okay.
was going on.
Melinda scale now.
No, I have to say.
Oh, fine. Say what you guys
Go
say.
ahead.
Okay, in my opinion, Jeff the Killer is one of the most iconic characters in creepypasta. There's a whole thing behind him. The author credited in this article, at least, is a guy named Caesar, but he claims to have no correlation to this story.
Right.
He wrote it on the. I mean, someone else. The way that creepypasta works is that someone else posts it and shares it, not necessarily. But they can credit the author if they feel like that's the
I
author.
can see why this stayed anonymous.
Smart,
Yeah.
smart. He's a smart. guy.
But yeah, it's interesting because it's one of those things that I don't think the author, him or herself, thought this would ever get this popular.
Probably.
It's one of those things that just I think it really is one of those things that gets accidentally popular.
Now, can I ask a
And
question about
for
that?
some reason, that
Ironically,
picture
yeah.
is just so iconic, and for
It is.
it was just I don't know what was going on in 2011, but it was just one of those things where it must have been the perfect storm to make this thing the top. Whether it was
all
a
the
joke,
elements aligned.
No, this had to have been ironically enjoyed.
right, obviously.
no, there are. You'll be surprised.
I don't
You
want to.
don't understand.
Bo's like,
You don't understand.
What little
The
faith I have
number-
in the human race is slowly
There are-
diminishing.
Go to YouTube. There are fan music videos. There are fan-made things about Jeff the Killer.
Why?
There are the
Why?
amount of DeviantArt porn of Jeff the Killer and Ben Drowned is him and Shadowlink too.
Well, not anymore.
Oh my
not
God.
anymore, because Overwatch has the porn market cornered right now.
That's true. Fair enough.
Wait, who did you say was it? Was Skylar? Was the one who wrote this?
No,
Skylar?
Caesar.
Well, there's
That's how it's credited.
someone in the comment section named Skylar who replied to all these comments talking about saying it was his story.
It's probably bullshit.
I mean, there's no way to know at this
No,
point.
there's no way to know.
That ship has sailed.
The internet is lies.
So.
Dylan, what were you gonna? What is this? Oh, the Melinda. Are you done?
Well, the problem with the Melinda scale is
I
that
don't think it
was
applies.
Jeff
There's nothing-
stupid?
there's no-
was
right.
Jeff, was
That's
Jeff
the
the
issue.
idiot?
issue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jeff
is he
stupid.
worthy of the Melinda?
Because this
scale?
isn't. Ready? Here's the thing. This isn't a horror story.
It isn't.
It's not. There's nothing horror about it. This is a 12-year-old's weird, uncomfortable wet dream that requires some therapy and analyzing from like an expert. In
Okay, this is what
psychiatry.
we'll do. For the first time ever on Scare Your Friends, we're going to reach out to this author and we're going to give him some help.
No.
So based on what you read, William, what would you say to this kid if he was your son and you had to give him some life advice?
no.
Come on, Will, give it your best shot.
We know you want to.
No, I would just say seek a professional's help. Honestly, at this point, there's nothing I can say that can help
Well,
you.
they did, and the doctor was awful.
The doctor was like,
Well,
"Fuck this
well,
works."
he went into the doctor's office. He looked at him and said, "Let's hope for the best." Hey, let's hope for the best.
My advice.
Oh, it's normal. No, Mrs. Keller.
Mrs. Cumfuck.
so- what?
It was Johnny Cumfuck.
No, his name is Jeff the Killer. I'm talking about the story.
Oh, okay. I'm talking about the author.
Yeah.
It's
But
just
yeah,
sync
I think
procedure.
it does speak for itself. That's why I try to showcase the creepypastas that are really good and actually do try to become good stories. And there are creepypastas out there that are really good. Unfortunately, because of this story that other there's clones of this thing. Eyelash Jack. What is it? Not Laughing Jack. Is it
The
Laughing
Joker.
Jack?
You just said Jack. As soon as you said that,
Eyelash Jack is one of them. I forgot what the laughing one is.
Nathan, Jack Napier.
Smile Dog's different, but yeah.
Wait, did you say Jack? You said Jack, right?
Eyelash Jack.
Jack Napier.
Eyelash Jack is another story that's just it's as cringy as this.
Jack-
But there's a Jane the Killer that eventually comes into light. There's Slenderman versus Jeff the Killer story. It's like,
What?
oh yeah,
We have to read that.
Oh, we're not. No,
We
it's,
have
it's
to.
It's worse. It's fantastic.
I'm gonna
That's-
read one of those.
You can read it. That's
All right,
fine.
But this more, I think the reason why this got popular is because of how stupid.
Right, absolutely. People
I mean,
like this.
No, it's the market. It's these fucking cringy 12-year-olds.
So that's the thing. Are these like the Minecraft kids who are like 10 and 11 years old reading
Don't
this
talk shit about Minecraft.
and being like,
And being
wow,
creeped out,
I
yeah.
relate to this. I
Or
would
being
love-"
creeped out.
They reject Minecraft for this.
Like that's the thing. That's what I'm wondering whether or not this got big because it related.
Maybe.
It found an audience in young children who felt oppressed and sad because they're
Probably.
children,
Probably.
or was this read by people who have rational thinking and were like, "This is hilariously bad. Let's make it a thing."
That's a good question. That's a very good question.
The world
Alright, so
will
on
never
a
know.
scale of Melinda to Charles Watts, Dylan, where would you rank?
I don't know if you can put
Well,
Jeff
I
as
don't-
no,
no,
Melinda,
let-
though. That's the
let's
thing.
just do it.
I don't know,
Alright,
but how?
Screw it.
But
Dylan gets to decide. So.
Yeah, it's
Why
your,
do I
it's
get
your
to
thing.
decide?
It's
You know
your
what?
thing.
It's a
It's your
good
thing.
thing.
Dylan, do you think it applies to this story at all?
I don't think so. It applies to
I
the
agree.
character.
Alright.
The character.
Okay.
As
This
this is
was dumb.
not a horror story. Jeff was not a horror protagonist. He was
at
a
all,
wet
no.
dream protagonist.
Yeah, he wasn't, and there was
So-
nothing dumb that he did. It was just the fact that
Well, no. Think of actions. The Melinda's actions versus the actions of Charles Watts,
It
and
doesn't-
put it in
it-
scale.
it
That's
doesn't-
what the
what
Melinda
story was Charles Watts. That was funny.
That was funny, man.
It just doesn't. It doesn't fit.
It doesn't fit the quota. That's
My
the problem.
favorite part of the story, besides some of the dialogue, is that he gets into a fist fight with this kid at a birthday party, right? And then the kid, not like the kid doesn't like threaten his mom or shoot his dad or, be like, I fucked your brother or whatever. He just lunges at Jeff, and that's what causes him to snap. This
Well,
guy
he goes to
just
the patio
lun-
door and then he.
No. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Somebody attacking you is not going to cause your entire psyche to snap immediately. This is just.
I think
It's wonderful. It really
It was
is.
more of a way like to show like you know what don't take bullies to crap.
Oh
I
my
felt
God,
like
here we go, Dylan.
No, that's what he wants you to think.
The
That's what the
fucking-
author
Alright,
wants you to think.
yeah, that's what he
Aesop
wants.
fables.
That's what he wants to think. Then he's kind of like,
Oh shit!
Dylan,
Creepypasta.
you're killing William right now. Look at him.
He's already
Look
dead.
at
He's
him.
dead before.
He's already
You did
dead.
this. You started this shit.
It's
No,
Look at
I-
him. Look at him. Look
It's
at
true.
Look me in the
fuck.
eyes and say you weren't happy I showed you this.
I was
I'm
happy
very
as hell. I was happy as hell.
I don't
He
think
was
Will
not.
is.
He was not.
I knew he wouldn't be, and that's what makes it a good podcast. Like, I
it's
wish
not
I
a
could
good
record.
podcast
I'm making
unless
a
somebody
I'm making a
has to
fucking
suffer.
picture of that. Like he is, like
Please
he is.
give William a round of applause.
His
This is the
hands,
last
his
podcast
hands are
we'll
over
ever
his
do.
eyes. It's just we're not taking a picture.
So
of that. No.
take that's gonna be the photo. They
No,
put
it's
on
gonna be
YouTube
Jeff.
video.
Thumbnail. Oh no, it's the Jeff. It's the Jeff picture, of course.
Okay.
I'm gonna get the cringiest Jeff
don't
fanfic.
put that away. Shit. So yeah.
That's it. Yeah. William, final.
No, there's no fun.
No, we're all
This is it.
done.
This
Oh
is
my
it.
God.
This is it.
That's it.
Well, it's been a good time coming back to scare your friends. Thank you for listening.
After
Has it?
months, it's fun.
This is how I treat my friends after months of not seeing them.
I'm happy.
I've been
Are you
John.
happy as Jeff?
Maybe. I've been John, aka Skillfully. You can find me on YouTube and stuff. You already knew that, though. There's also
You're
William.
watching this video.
Yep.
Also on Discord. You can find it. I'll put a Discord link in the chat if you want to speak to me on that.
That's exciting.
Mm.
Yay.
You're Williams.
Yeah.
Williams heading out.
Also, Will is heading out. This has been the worst thing ever. So I have
Dylan?
to cover.
Don't say what's up. You're leaving. We're leaving.
Dylan, this
Don't
is
say
not-
what's up as you're leaving.
It's a-
I don't know what's up. I was like, this is.
Nick,
All
say
right,
something
Nick,
smart.
Power through it.
Something smart.
Fuck you.
All right.
We're done.
Take it.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.
Ouch.
Fuck you, Will.